Good morning, beautiful saints. Today is Tuesday, the 31st of March, day 5 of the lockdown in South Africa. This is a very short message to give you some context to what many of you would have seen last night, the suspending of the ringing of the bells. What happened is one of our neighbors complained about the bell ringing, and I sought legal counsel from the diocese with the exco of our parish. And we have been informed that under usual circumstances, it is our religious right to ring the bells. However, under the lockdown regulations, all places of worship need to be closed. Therefore, even though I live on the site, the church itself has to be locked. Now, I know that this is very distressing for many people, the idea of the bells going silent. But I want to encourage you by reminding you that for the first 300 years of the church, Christianity was an underground movement, and they were not allowed to congregate to worship. They were not allowed to show any liturgical expressions of our belief in Jesus the Christ sent to save us. And yet, they grew their numbers day by day. And you've got to ask yourself why. How did that happen? If they were not allowed to be openly practicing their religion. And it brings to mind a question I ask myself relatively often. If I did not wear a cross or a collar and nobody saw me going to church and nobody saw me praying, how would anybody know that I'm a Christian? And the answer lies, it's in our lifestyle, that really we testify to the truth, that God remains with us and in us, that God is a God of mercy and grace and love through our lifestyle choices. And so I want to offer two invitations to those watching this and our community as a whole. The first is that as individuals in our homes, we continue to mark the 3 times of prayer. So at 7 a.m., at noon, and at 7 p.m. And as we mark these hours together, we will be corporately joined in the Spirit. And the second invitation I would like to offer comes out of our reading this morning from Paul's letter to the church in Corinth. And that is, how do we use our spiritual gifts to build up the body, of Christ? And particularly in this time for us as a human species, how can we use our spiritual gift, our presence in our families, to remind the world that God remains with us? Amen.